Okay, so we're just going to evaluate the group's performance during the theatre and education tour. So just generally, how do you think it went? What comments have you got to make?
I think that overall our piece was well designed for the kids that we did it to, and it still could have been developed more for them. There were little bits, the sort of things that we could have done that would have really worked with the kids, but it was...
Can you give me a specific example?
When Professor Crabbington lifts his computer and walks out and walks by the sheet, they found that hilarious. But he could have done more, he could have bumped into things and made a bigger deal of it. It was just like a few moments which we could have really enhanced that the kids loved anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good that we had those moments anyway from the development of the piece, but we could have expanded upon them because we could have got them laughing for a good 30 seconds and then moved on and just had that great sort of joy.
That's a good point. Anybody else?
I think we could have been more prepared for the audience participation, because we didn't do it in front of an audience before that we're getting so involved. I think we weren't quite ready for like the laughs and the shouting out of random things. Like we weren't quite as prepared for that as we should have been. But more so after the first one. I think once we'd done it once, we had a better idea what we were doing. But certainly the first one, there was a few moments where we didn't really know how to react to their reactions.
But you kind of use that as a learning.
Yeah.
I think I wasn't really expecting the kids to be so involved either. Like when they shouted liar, I didn't really know how to react to that because it wasn't really like planned, and I was just really scared for the second show. But for the third show, I think we definitely picked it back up again.
What do you mean? So you were more nervous in that second show?
No, I was nervous for the first show, and the second one I realised it dropped a bit.
Okay.
And then, but I think we all did well to pick it back up for the third one.
All right.
I feel like we overcome things as a team much better than I thought we would, because like when the child gave us the letter at the beginning, I think like everyone was panicking a bit because we carried on with it, but when it came to like thinking out the mystery in our heads we were like, oh no, what are we going to do? But then we managed to like improvise around it better than I thought we would.
You adapted to each audience quite well, I agree with that. Anything else anyone wants to say? Anything you could have really improved, on reflection?
I think our use of props and set was sort of a bit redundant almost. I feel like the sheets were good to hide behind, but they weren't, and they looked good, but I feel like we could have found a much better way of having to flip them over, or if we maybe had rehearsed with them before a bit more, because we didn't really know what we were doing, because we sort of finished them right near where we were going to perform to the first school, so we hadn't really rehearsed with them as well, and we didn't really know when to flip them over or how to flip them over best. And I think that maybe one or two rehearsals fall through with flipping, we would have looked much better, and we would have known where to hook it up better, and it just would have been much sleeker, as well as I think the sort of individual props like the badminton racket, it just wasn't needed. We didn't need to show the kids that I've got a racket. It's in itself a funny moment, and it didn't add much, and I think there was a few things like that we just didn't need, and maybe a few things that we could have added that would have helped more in other areas.
I'd also think if we were going to do it again, think more about the timings of each show. Like we didn't have enough time to get from the first one to the second one, and I think that might have been part of the problem for the second one, was we were sort of a little bit knackered from running up, and we didn't have a chance to warm up properly, get ready and get nervous for the second show. We just had to go straight into it, and I think that stopped it from being as good as it could have been.
Yeah, there wasn't as many kids as well. When we went to the first show, it was the most amount of kids. We had 120, and the second show was like 30 odd kids, wasn't it? There was like not many, so that really took off the pressure, which in effect led to a not as good show as it could have been. And I think that may have been one of the factors that it dipped quite a bit. The factor that made the next show better. When we walked in, there wasn't as many kids as the first show, but they were all really excited, especially because when I was sort of behind the box and they kept all laughing, there was a lot of energy, and it was really easy to go.
If we'd have known about that at the first one, I think we should have done that for all of them.
Yeah.
Because that really helped. The fact that they were already excited and laughing made us want to.
And it's what they do if you go and see like a stand-up comedian, like a famous stand-up comedian. There's 2 or 3 acts on before he comes on to get the audience warmed up. So it's that sort of theory. What about you? Anything we could have improved?
Anything we could have improved?
I'll come back to you, Pav.
I think we should have spent more time like rehearsing the scenes and going through them, because like on the day, like I was just really nervous because we hadn't done it like Jack said with the whole flipping the sheets everything, and I feel we should have just like had a go before we just performed it. But I think we still worked really hard on like painting and everything, and it was still good.
So you